Behind me is Farm Driefontein, portion 406. It has been expropriated without compensation, that is for R0. R0 and 0 cents by the city of Ekurhuleni in eastern Johannesburg of the Gauteng province in South Africa. The city said that it wanted a test case to prove and to show that land can be expropriated and should be expropriated, in this case for social housing. And because that is in the public interest, so the city argues no compensation is due. Several years, the owners have tried to keep this out of the news, to settle this amicably. They've negotiated, they've written legal letters, but all to no avail. The city explicitly sticks to its version and says that it will not pay a cent compensation for this 34-hectare property valued at anything between 30 and 64 million rand, depending on the valuation. It is very important to turn this expropriation without compensation around. If we allow it to stand in South Africa, in virtually any municipal property across the country, any state entity would have a license and would be encouraged to do similar things. It would also encourage illegal land invasions, and this is something that cannot be afforded in South Africa. In fact, the most expensive way to expropriate land is to do it without compensation, because it will destroy so much value from pension funds to savings to property portfolios across the country that it must be averted. The expropriation already happened in 2019, and the owners are not seeking to turn the expropriation around, but just to secure market compensation for their property. The Driefontein expropriation without compensation is a very important matter. Its political consequences are profound because in the current coalition government, there are parties like the ANC who was in charge of the municipality and still is when this expropriation happened, and others who say that expropriation should not happen without compensation. It is also internationally of consequence because international investors, of course, are affected, but also there is a political interest by administrations such as the United States very much against expropriation in South Africa. There are also social consequences and economic consequences. If properties like these are in an urban setting like Boksburg and eastern Johannesburg is allowed to be expropriated without compensation, just imagine what would happen if other municipalities start to do the same, if other state entities want to rely on the same ground. Public interest, social housing, any political purpose effectively can be used to justify expropriation without compensation. The Driefontein case of expropriation without compensation shows where expropriation is heading in South Africa. The 2024 Expropriation Act, to which President Ramaphosa assented just a few months earlier, was conceived precisely to enable expropriation in the public interest at zero compensation, which is just another way to say that for any political purpose, the state intends to have the discretion to take land, whether in urban or in rural settings, for its political purposes, at zero compensation. The Driefontein case of expropriation without compensation cannot be allowed to stand. The nil compensation decision must be overturned. The good news is that there is still time. Even though the Expropriation Act of 2024 was conceived of and assented to by President Ramaphosa precisely to enable cases of expropriation without compensation such as these, it has not yet started taking place in a widespread manner, even though it is clearly the intention of state entities to make use of its provisions. It is really important that over the next few years, entities of civil society, role players locally and internationally, exert all the pressure they can to overturn the Driefontein expropriation without compensation decision and prevent others from taking place. From Saakliga's side, we will be doing a lot in that with our partners. See our website for more details about what happened at Driefontein and what we intend to do to prevent expropriation without compensation in South Africa.